Marty Kotis is a member of the UNC Board of Trustees, joins me now. Marty, thank you for joining us. How does the board, how are you going to do this? How radically do things change?
I think things can change pretty quickly here. But the question is how we enforce a lot of these new changes that we're going to make to the policy manual. We've already done some audits of different admissions criteria, as well as the admissions or the campus tour process. We are going to next address this by dialing in, seeing exactly what we can and can't do. I think the university still has an interest in a holistic approach, evaluating the whole individual. And there's not going to be a change, I don't perceive, of allowing people to describe their personal history and the things that are important to them, the obstacles they've overcome. But we do need to make sure that we are not pressing down on the scale for one set of folks while reducing opportunities for another. That's really the crux of the problem, is taking away opportunities.
Well, and that's, you know, there are people who say, look, Black and Hispanic students are really going to be underrepresented now. How would you respond to that?
I'd say we need to address the root problems. The root problems aren't necessarily at the college level. We need to look at K through 12.
Yeah.
We need to look at societal issues. We can't look at this quick fix Band-Aid that's thrown on at the college level, or the appearance of there not being a problem. We need to get down and dig into the root problems so that our applicant pool reflects, really a lot of free choice as well as opportunity for everyone out there. We can't, again, we can't window dress. We've got to actually dig into the root problems. And I think that's what the Supreme Court has really allowed here, is for us to dig into those root problems.
Very quickly, Marty, you want to get to this. President Biden announcing new steps to help borrowers repay their student loans after, of course, the Supreme Court blocked his debt relief plan. But does any of this actually address, you talk of root problems, what about the root problem of student debt? What's the root of that, the crisis in student debt?
Yeah, the root problem is not student debt. The root problem is college affordability. Our board has taken steps. We're at 7 years now with flat tuition for in-state students for undergrad. That's how you solve problems. You dig in and you start looking at fiscal management of the university. And our university CFO and chancellor have done a great job in solving a $100 million deficit. We're digging into departments and looking at the costs there. That's how you fix the problem. You don't fix it by writing off debt for folks and asking electricians and hairdressers to pay for someone's college degree. You also have to look at what the value proposition is. Are we offering enough are we moving the needle enough in someone's outcomes? Are they earning more when they graduate with a college degree? I think there's a real need for transparency in education lending. Congresswoman Fox has championed efforts like that, and I hope that we can see that occur at a federal level.
I think lots of people would like that. Marty, thank you so much for joining us this morning and sharing your expertise. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way,